Today, do we have a treat for you? I'm sitting down with none other than Kevin Young of Disciple to talk all about the deluxe edition of Skeleton Psalms. Trust me, you do not want to miss this one. Hit that like button, get ready to rock, and let's jump in. Kingdom Builder TV starts right now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is John Wesley.
Hey, Josh Bissell here.
Hey, this is Jamie McDonald.
What's up? I'm Laverdier.
What's up, y'all? This is Seth Schleter, and you are tuned in to Kingdom Builder.
I'm trying to push your blue skies away. I keep murdering your mercy from my memory. I try to run, but I can't escape. 'Cause I'm in hell and you're here with me. You keep resurrecting.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Kingdom Builder TV. I'm Mike Laxton, and today I'm joined by a true legend in Christian rock. Someone whose music has inspired and challenged listeners for over 3 decades. Disciple has remained a staple in Christian rock, blending high-energy riffs with deeply convicting lyrics. And now they're back with a brand new deluxe edition of Skeleton Psalms featuring 2 powerful new singles, Sound the Alarm and Resurrecting Reasons featuring Decipher Down. Here to talk about it, of course, is none other than Disciple's frontman, Kevin Young. Kevin, welcome to Kingdom Builder TV.
Thank you.
I hope I didn't make you feel too old there.
No, man, that was a very nice compliment. I appreciate that.
Well, as I was saying a little earlier, is that I've definitely been listening to your guys' music for quite some time. I'm trying to remember one of the first songs that I listened to, and I had a radio station. It's probably your number one song right now on Spotify, if I remember it. And I can't the name of it's at the top. It's escaping me for the moment.
But one of our songs or the one?
Yeah, one of your songs, one of your guys' songs.
Dear X.
Yeah, Dear X. That's what it was. Dear X. Yes, I remember. If I remember, that was pretty well up there. And I think it hit number one for a little while too, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that was definitely probably my introduction to you guys. But as I mentioned, you guys have been going strong for over 30 years. Has it really been that long? Wow. But one thing
It hasn't. It really hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
But
Okay.
In real time, it has. In my mind, it's been like a few weeks.
Right.
Yeah. It's went by so fast.
It goes by fast, right? Well, one thing I love about we've had you on Kingdom Builder TV a couple different times. I know you spoke with our founder Jay, and just we've been connected with you for a little while. One thing that I love about your music is that your mission is clear through the whole time, the whole 30 years to plus years you've been around. Looking back, has that kind of approach to making music evolved? What still drives you after all these years?
Oh man. Christian rock music changed my life as a young person. I had a youth pastor give me a Christian rock album, White Cross, back in the 80s. And I discovered Petra shortly after that. And those became my favorite bands. That just extended from there to, whoever was the band at the time. It was Bride, Guardian, Striper, Bloodgood, all of them, just, my heroes. And just being exposed to those types of bands at such an early age really, molded how I wanted to do things. And I really felt like it all was just a calling that God had, and he kind of lined this all up in place for me. And that's the way I felt. And from the very beginning, and I've never really wanted to do anything else, never really felt called to do anything else. And so the boats have been burned, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably I could maybe take your order at a drive-through window, but even that, I don't think I could do it very well. So this is all I'm here to do, man. I really do believe this is what I was born to do. So I'm going to do it until I can't do it anymore.
You know what? That's awesome that you've definitely found your calling, and it shows. I mean, it's not often that a band, especially in the Christian industry, has been around for 30 plus years. I mean, I can probably name on one hand groups that have done that. And another rock band that I'm sure you're familiar with has done that. We talked to recently, Skillet. I mean, John Cooper and Corey and them, they've been around a long time, but yeah, again, the same mission, same like message. And,
right.
He's very, very, very unashamed about, the faith as well. So I think,
right.
It's amazing that you guys have been around so long, and it's an awesome show of God's testament to your faithfulness to him too, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a commitment when you're called to something. You're not really, you're not really thinking about it as terms of other occupations that you
Mhm.
know, you're trying to, decide what occupation you want to do to take care of your family and how much money you're going to be making and are you going to be afford to live in this town, that thing, whatever. When you're called to do something, it's just kind of like, it's almost like a decision to like,
Mhm.
for rich or for poor, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
like that's what this has been. There's been times it's been good, but I mean most of the times the whole first decade, we were poor, you know, and we had side jobs doing whatever. And we were even like tithing to the band, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like this, our side jobs, being able to do what we were doing and to get this thing off the ground. But yeah, that's what it takes, when you're committed and you're called to something. It's kind of like, the money is not what it's about. It never has been about that. And it's nice that we have this that can pay. We make an average salary now. I
Mhm.
think I just saw whatever the average salary of an American is. Hey, that's what we are. We made it.
There you
That's what
go.
success in Christian rock actually looks like, is to be average, just to be an average working person. But and that's not why we're doing it,
Mhm.
and it's never been why we're doing it. It's never going to be why I'm doing it.
No, absolutely, and I think that's great. I mean, just great advice, even just to those aspiring and emerging artists out there, because we do have a lot of those that we talk to
Oh
that
yeah,
they're
man.
trying to figure the industry out. I'm like, you
People are
have to
like,
go,
"Hey, are your
yep,
kids playing music?" I'm like, "No."
right?
No. I mean, they have started on their own the last couple of years, but they're like, "Do you push them?" I'm like, "No, no, no, no." They're like, "Why don't you help them?" I'm like, "Because I want them to do something else. I'm their dad. I care about them, you know."
I mean,
So
yeah, I mean, if they want to do it, if that's their calling, then that's their
if it's
calling.
their
But yeah,
calling, it's a different ball game.
yeah,
But they're
exactly.
they're young right now, so yeah.
There you go. Well, again, the reason we're here today, we're talking about this new deluxe edition of Skeleton Psalms, and I know there's a couple of new songs that came out so far that are on there. One of those is "Resurrecting Reasons," which features T.J. Harris of Decipher Down. So, what made him the perfect fit for the song, and how did that collaboration kind of come about?
He's one of my favorite singers. Period. He's so good. We've known Decipher Down since the early 2000s,
Hmm.
before TJ was even in the band, and you know, getting to know him, he's obviously a really good friend of ours, but just we're in awe of his talent. We love, if we are touring together, we'll sit and just watch Decipher Down play just to
Hmm.
hear TJ sing. He is really one of a kind.
Hmm.
And when we were releasing the deluxe edition of this album, we were thinking about doing a feature, having a guest come on and re-sing one of the songs that we put out. It was an idea that I think Josiah had that idea. And we were like, who do we do? And I was like, TJ. TJ would sound amazing on this song.
Hmm.
And we knew it was a good idea, but we did not realize just how good of an idea it was until we actually heard him sing the song.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you have those moments in your life, like where you're looking around, you're saying things without saying, you're looking around at each other and you're like, oh, this is really good, but you didn't say that out loud. You
Hmm.
have that look on your face. That's what we all were doing when we heard it. I mean, just had this wide-eyed look at each other. We were like, wow, this is really amazing. And so yeah, we're stoked that we were able to get him to sing on the song.
The dynamic from between you and TJ, just you can tell in the song. It's definitely there, and something that resonates. I think will resonate well with the audience, and again with the similar styles as well. So we actually caught up with TJ Harris of Decipher Down a little earlier and wanted to get his perspective on how he actually got involved with the song with you and the rest of the guys. Here's what he had to say.
We had played a few shows together last year around this time in North Carolina, and I guess it was maybe a few weeks before that. Josiah had hit me up and asked me what I thought about maybe doing a song for a deluxe version of this album, Skeleton Songs, and I said, "Well, I would love to." I hadn't even heard the song yet, or I didn't know which song yet that they wanted me to be a part of. But I said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And I was a little nervous when I said that because I guess you always want to, I guess, go to something like that to, bring your best and all that kind of stuff. And at least to elevate or, to do, what you set out to do and not kind of mess things up. And I hadn't done anything studio wise in a while. I hadn't really been doing anything here with music. So, but he sent me the song, and I mean, immediately, when I realized what song it was, I was just like, oh my gosh, it just hit me like a brick wall. And I loved it, and I thought, absolutely. So he sent me, I actually recorded my vocals here in my home studio. Josiah sent me a version of the song, first of all, that had Kevin's vocals all the way through, and then he left out parts, left out the second verse and second chorus, and just told me to basically have fun with it through the last part and see what would happen, And so I did. I sang the second verse and the chorus. I added some harmonies. I don't know if they used my harmonies in the first chorus or not, but I threw some in there. I just made sure that they have everything that they needed. And then, I didn't worry about, what was, high or low or too high. I listened to the song, and just things just started kind of flowing naturally. And I just started singing stuff, and it worked out. And, but yeah, I did that here, and they all liked what I did, and we, like Kevin said, he decided, it turned out so good he wanted to shoot a music video for it. So I flew out to Nashville about 2 months ago, and actually the first time I've gotten to see Josiah's studio. I've known these guys for so long. I've been touring with Kevin since 2010, off and on. He played bass with Decipher Down when we were on tour with Skillet back in the day, and then we played many shows and had other tours after that, and then we started touring again together in 2015 when we started playing again, and with City Rock Fest and those tours. I think we did 2 or 3 of those with Disciple. Like, our relationship hadn't changed. It was just like somebody hit the pause button, and then I walked in the door and they hit play, and we just continued. Like, we just right where we left off. It's kind of like when you go to festivals, and it's just a huge like family reunion. You just pick up right where you left off, and you just receive everybody with open arms, and it's great. And that's how it felt going in to do the music video, and I was so stoked to be a part of it. I was so honored that I got to be there and do that and be a part of that song and video.
Well, it's definitely cool to hear you on those soaring vocals, TJ. You definitely brought fire to the tracks for sure.
I appreciate it.
Now, Kevin, I know the song was kind of born out of discovering God's faithfulness in our darkest and undeserving moments. Can you kind of take us into the heart of the song? What was there a personal moment or story that influenced it?
Yeah, it's literally, my walk, my journey. I think the best way to describe it is just, we all, as Christians, we all struggle with sin on some level. We never really reach perfection. And I think some doors that you leave open are more dangerous than others, and I definitely left some doors open in my life that eventually caught up to me, and were very destructive and very dangerous. And I had to deal with the consequences of that. And is a very dark time for me. And when you're a Christian and you are struggling with sins that are a little bit bigger than you're just a normal everyday thing that people struggle with, somebody cutting you off while you're driving, or just, getting upset or losing your temper over something, when you're struggling with bigger things, it's really, it's very difficult to believe that the gospel is still for you. That Jesus loves everybody else, but, you're a Christian, you have a higher standard for yourself. You're supposed to know better. You're supposed to perform better. You're supposed to not make these types of mistakes anymore. Otherwise your faith is not genuine. And there's all these things that go through your head, and you just, feel like giving up. And I really hit rock bottom, to be honest with you. And that was one of the best days of my life, was because that's where I've finally realized that there were doors that needed to be shut in my life, and I needed to start over, and I needed to really reach out and cry out in desperation for Jesus to save me, because I was drowning. And that's exactly what he did. And he rescued me. And I picked up a guitar, and these words just poured out, and those are some of the best songs to write, because, it's just kind of like your heart is talking. And normally when we write songs, we'll just kind of like revise them and make them better and revise them. And this is one where it was just like, it was done. I wrote it and made a voice memo of it, and it was done. And so like when TJ heard it, he said, I'm tracking with all of this. Like this is, and I think what I found out is whenever I write songs from this really deep personal place, that my story is actually not that much different than a lot of other people's story. And so someone hears it and they're like, I know that. And I feel that. I've walked that. And I love that aspect of this song, people coming up and saying those kinds of things. And so really my testimony right now is that, yes, God does love the world, and he's out for everybody, but he especially loves those that are Christians who have blown it and who think that their ministry is over and their life is over and that he doesn't love them anymore. And my testimony is, if he can save me and still use me after all the mistakes that I've made, then he can definitely use anybody. And your life's not over and your ministry's not over. And if you woke up this morning, then that means he's not finished with you yet.
Amen. I mean, that's, I've always said that the songs, like personally, that I resonate with the most are the ones that have that, you have the heart behind it. And obviously from what you're saying, that's definitely in the lyrical aspect of the music. And I can already see it just touching people, like, oh, I can relate to that. And like you said, God's grace extends out to everybody, no matter what position you're in. It's always going to be there. He's always going to love you. He's always going to care for you. He's always going to do what he can to pull you out of that. And because his love is unfathomable, we can't imagine how far that spans. And that's why, it's just so extraordinary that he loves us that much. Of course, he sent his son to die for us.
Absolutely.
How
Absolutely.
powerful that is. And I can see that really resonating and really impacting people. And the other single that we know we've had that came out a little bit earlier was Sound the Alarm, which another brand new track that's going to be on this deluxe edition. That you hear that song title and you're like, well, that's a very urgent song title. So
Right.
what's kind of the message behind that song? Like why
What's funny? I appreciate you saying that. What's funny is we do this thing called the bus experience, or VIP bus experience, where people that come to the shows, they can come up on the bus. And one of the gifts that we give them is showing them a song that's not out yet. And so when we had these 4 new songs that were going to be on the deluxe edition, we would always tell them the names, and we would say, oh, which one do you want to hear? Do you want to hear this one, or Sound the Alarm? And they'd be like, Sound the Alarm, because hands down, they would pick it every single time. That just had that, even the title, it sounded like, oh yeah, I want to hear that. So it's funny you said that. Sorry, what was your question?
No, so the question was regarding that song, because it does stand out so well. What's the kind of the message behind that one? Why was it important to include it in this particular release for the deluxe edition?
Yeah, it's a really cool song. Josiah wrote it with Kellen from Memphis Mayfire, and we loved it from the moment that we heard it. And it's really more like a kind of a dystopian, end of the world type of song, with this unnamed evil presence that is like after you in the song. And it's like, kind of somebody saying, hey, there's something, it's coming to get you. And like, I'm trying to let you know, I'm trying to sound the alarm, to wake you up. So like, you're just aware of this thing. And I think it's very relevant on so many levels. There's so many metaphors that you could just throw out right now for the way the world is right now, all the things that we're facing. That alarm can be 4 million different things, quite honestly. but yeah, so and I kind of love that about poetry and music is
Hmm.
that we are trying to invoke feeling and emotion from
Yeah.
someone who listens to the song, and they kind of get to claim it as their own as they're
Hmm.
listening to it. It's not a disciple song. It's like it's their song.
Hmm.
And so when they're listening to it, like sound the alarm, it's going to mean something different to every single person that
Hmm.
hears it. And I love that, that they will hear it and it be their thing.
No, it makes sense. I mean, it's just again, you listen to the title. It's like, well, it's a call to action for me. It's like that's
Yeah.
what I think of is that something's going on, and you mentioned stuff happening recently. Yeah, absolutely. For me, my thought is,
Yeah.
hey, the conversations I've had over the last couple months, I feel like there's a revival coming on. There's a revival going on. There's a lot of curiosity to really experience what God is doing and things like that. So that's for me is like, you talk about dystopia. Well, I mean, end times, who knows? We don't know when that's going to happen, but we know that God is going to work in ways where he is going to make sure that the people of God are going to be ready to stand by his
Hmm.
side and fight for, for what we stand for. And, I think that's my perception of the song. So,
Yeah, well, no, it is that it's kind of waking up to the
mhm,
alarm, really.
mhm,
There's this line in the song that says, "It's come for me, but I'm taking it head
mhm,
on." And so you're kind of taking responsibility, like I'm awake, I'm aware. And there's this wonderful verse, and I love it. It said, "Be sober, be vigilant.
mhm,
For your enemy is a roar like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour." And I love the idea of that, when it's saying be sober and be vigilant, it's like head on a swivel, you know what I mean?
mhm.
Like you're
Yep.
you're now actively engaging in this contest or in this exercise. Like
Mhm,
you're not just blindly walking through the day, which is what most of us do from day to day. We
mhm,
wake up and we're like, I got this day or whatever.
mhm,
But now, when you're awake and aware, and I think that goes back to resurrecting reasons as well, is like,
mhm,
my story of just, yeah, we all struggle with sin. And so therefore it becomes this common thing. But, there's this wonderful Bible verse that says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, not the middle, not the end, it's the beginning.
mhm,
And when you kind of look at things, not for the smallness of them, but the potential and the danger of things, you begin to have fear and respect and honor for things, because no one caught in some kind of big struggle, it didn't go from like nothing to big. It always started small,
mhm,
and it just kind of grows and grows and grows, and it turns into this thing. And that was definitely my experience and my story. And so, that sound the alarm is really the same thing. It's kind of reclaiming boundaries in your life. There's
mhm,
things that, they might not be that big of a deal today, but like the potential is there. So reclaiming boundaries and just closing doors, cracked doors that, could be swung wide open, or fires in the fireplace and the fire's trying to get out of the
mhm,
fireplace and burn the whole house down. It's like, just put the fire out, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. And
mhm.
so I think that it has that kind of message in there as well.
No, I definitely can see that from the lyrical standpoint and what you have behind that song. But of course, with the new album, you're gonna have the tracks that were on the original release from 2023. But I
Hmm.
know there's gonna be some acoustic renditions and other
I
studio
keep
mixes
forgetting
as
to
well.
mention that one. Yes, that's right. I
Which
always
I mean,
forget that one.
I'm a fan of acoustic. So hearing the just you and just the regular acoustic guitar, how are those versions going to give new life to the songs that we've kind of already heard?
Yeah, um, it's kind of a niche thing, like everyone has the thing that they like, and acoustic versions of songs are definitely for certain types of people that love that. And we even just did an acoustic show last night.
Mm,
It's a thing. People
mm,
people love that, or some people like that. And and so we've grown to love it as well. And having an acoustic version of a song is pretty cool. We're also going to have some live songs on there, about 6 different live tracks, and there's even going to be like an EDM remix of
mm,
the song Executioner, which I'm not really into that and don't really care what one way or the other. But there's a friend of ours who's a mixer, and he kind of showed us his version or his vision for it, and I was like, wow, that's actually really cool. So, well, I was like, yeah, let's do it. So, it's going to have a lot of stuff for everybody on there.
Well, it'd be exciting because you're almost getting two albums for the price, for the price of one. You're getting a full, you're getting
Yeah.
the regular edition, and then you get the other stuff on
The
top of
first
it.
album was 10 tracks, and now
Right.
we've added 12. So it's going to be
Right.
22
That's
tracks.
pretty crazy for a deluxe, honestly. Like I don't think I've
It's a
seen one where
day.
it's double. Yeah,
It's
right.
a Yeah, it's a day. You're taking a day out of your life to enjoy this
Hey, that's okay. We'll take
this
it.
album.
So when at the end of the day, speaking of day, at the end of the day, when people are listening to that deluxe edition, what's kind of the one message or feeling you want them to walk away with after listening to it?
Man, I mean, the whole album is just kind of really just kind of an expression of everything I've been through the last few years. And, when people share their testimony, it's, it's an encouragement in ways, that whenever you hear someone's testimony, you're literally hearing how God encountered and engaged
Mm.
and did something on behalf of a human being. And I hope it gives hope that people know that that's exactly what God wants to do in our lives, in all of our lives, is to engage with them and encounter them. And because the beautiful thing that I have discovered is that we matter. All of us matter, and that this mission that God has for us. Most of my prayers have been selfish. Most of my prayers my entire life is, God bless me, bless my bank account, bless my family, bless the song I'm about to write, bless the whatever. And it's all coming from this selfish, almost like God's my personal assistant. And he's really woke me up to, he's on a mission, and it's his mission. And it's to save the world, and it's to show the world his love. So God is love. And so he's actually teaching me. So I chase righteousness to become more like him. Why? Because he's on a mission. It's not my mission, it's his mission. And no one plays any insignificant roles in this mission. The Bible talks about, the head can't say to the hand, I don't need you. The hand can't say to the foot, I don't need you. We all play this vital role in this mission. And so when I'm on stage, yes, that's a role, but also when I'm a husband at home, and when I'm a father and no one's looking, when I'm a friend, when I'm at the grocery store, all those roles are important and vital to the mission. And I've really just woken up to the fact that, like, that is for all of us. And when we become sober, vigilant, and aware that we're on a mission, and it's literally God's mission, and he's using us, we pray differently. It's almost like, instead of like, God bless me, so they can kind of bless my thing, be my personal assistant. It's almost like, all right, God, what are you doing with me today? Where do you want me to go? Who are you want me to encounter? How can the love inside of me that you've given me be shown to someone else and make an impact on somebody else's life? You pray differently when you are aware of the mission that he's on, that he's allowed you to join him with. Like, we are on a mission, but it's his mission, and it changes things. And so, I'm hoping people hear the album and are encouraged by the testimony and kind of get a glimpse of some of those elements.
Well, it's again very exciting to hear what's going to come out of that, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing some of the stories from people to see how that's going to change their life and really just help them seek God and be like, Lord, use me for what you're going to use me for, and that find that purpose. Off of Skeleton Psalms for a little bit, want to go ahead and go to a track that released last year that I happen to hear on the radio, and that you featured on, which was Sean Rodriguez, who's a good friend of ours. The song "It Is Finished," and one of my favorite songs right now that's out there.
It's so good.
It's such a good song, and it's doing really well. Just overall, I mean, radio as well as just from the standpoint of how catchy it is, and just the message behind it as well. And can you explain your involvement into that track and your side of things?
Man,
I know Sean's told us his, but let's hear your. I want to hear your side.
I told Sean, he asked me to sing on the song. I said, this song doesn't need me. This song is incredible. I mean, this guy, we met him on Winter Jam, and I've never heard of anyone doing this, dude. Like, I was watching his show, and I loved his show because he would do these rap sections where he would rap really fast and like throw all these words, and I was like, how was he capable of producing sound and saying these words so fast? And so I was really blown away by his talent. And so I'd gotten in the habit of, wanting to watch him perform. Well, then one day he does this song I've never heard, and it is finished. And I'm like, well, we're on tour. We're playing the same songs every night. Okay. We've prepared. We had 15 minutes to play. We're prepared. We're playing the same songs every night. Here's this guy. He plays a song that he didn't play the night before. I was like, what is that? What is that song? I said, that song's killer. What is that? He goes, oh yeah, we wrote it last night or night before last, in town. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, what? You just wrote this song like a few days ago, last night, whatever, finished it last night. You wrote it a few days, whatever, like, and you just performed it tonight? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, that's something that no one has ever said, ever. I've never heard of someone doing that. Are you kidding me? Okay, so that alone, the guy is crazy talented. Just wrote a song and then performs it the next night. So there's that. And then he's like, hey man, why don't you take on the song? And I'm like, buddy, it doesn't need me. He's like, no, but it'd be cool. And so I went in and I, it's a pop song. So I was trying to like just lay back a little bit. They were like, no, give us the heat. They're like, scream. And I was like, are you sure? They're like, yeah, get in there, go for it. And I'm like, all right. And I did. And I thought it would make the song worse. So, but that's what they asked me to do. So I'm on there, providing a little heat on the song, screaming a little bit. And it hasn't seemed to turn too many people off. So I'm happy about that. But it's a really cool song, man. And he's a super cool guy. I love that guy, and very talented. And I'm just glad he asked me. It's really cool.
I would say apparently that song wasn't finished until you got on it. So I remember hearing it for the first time, like, oh, this is good. And then your part comes in. I'm like, okay, cranking it up just a little bit more. And then probably at like 30 now out of 60. And then I'm a fan of both the Christian rock and Christian hip hop side. So when I heard him rap,
and he does that move in the bridge where he's just going off, and
I'm like, wait, was that? And honestly, I'd never heard of Sean Rodriguez to the point. Actually, Kelly, one of our other members of our team, she pointed this out. Oh yeah, because she knows Sean, and she's like, hey, you have to hear the song. I'm like, okay, let me just check it out. I'm like, because I saw Disciple. I'm like, oh yeah, you got to check it out because I know Kevin's on it. You're love your stuff. So I'm like, this is like goosebumps like all over, and then the whole family is we're just rocking it on the car, and I'm like, anytime it comes on, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely on my Spotify rotation for sure. It gets played pretty frequently, man. But
it's doing really well.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I think it's a great way to introduce people from all aspects, from the pop side, the hip hop side, the rock side. It has that it's a very well kept merge of all the different components, but it doesn't overly like it's not going to really offend people who don't like one particular genre. Like if you like any of those genres, you're going to enjoy the song, and I think that's why it's done so well. And I didn't
even really consider that. You're right. It does. Mm-hmm. It has a very good representation of a lot of things happening in that song. So that's kind of cool.
You've got Skeleton Psalms coming out, and you've had some incredible milestones. Grammy nomination, Winter Jam, of course, countless hit songs. But for you, keeping to the theme with "It Is Finished." What still feels unfinished for Disciple? What's next beyond the release? See anything you can talk about or let us know about?
Yeah, man. If there's anybody that doesn't know Jesus, that's the unfinished part. Or anybody that's feels like a prodigal and they haven't come home yet, then we have unfinished business every town, and our prayer is just that. And we see it all the time, just, that whoever needs to be there is going to walk through those doors. And it's so funny, you'll hear the story. They'll be like, I've never heard of you guys. My friend invited me, and I gave my life to Jesus tonight, or whatever. And that's the unfinished business for me. I love the awards. I'm not going to lie to you. There was some quote out there for me that was like some quote of like, I don't care about awards. I just want to lay them at Jesus' feet. I was like, I never said that. I care about awards. I like winning awards. What are you talking about? So yeah, it hurts my feelings when we lose, honestly. But yeah, I do. Yeah, I like accomplishing things and all that. That's nice. It does feel good, But the unfinished business, we weren't trying to get a Grammy nomination. I assure you, it's the last thing on my mind. I didn't think it was possible, and it happened. So that's nice. But our unfinished business is just whoever needs that encouragement to come to know Jesus or to come home every show. That's what we're trying to do. Yes, all that other stuff feels good, but that's just that stuff, man. It's the journey. It really is. Miley Cyrus wrote that song, "The Climb," and it is that, man. Like the trophy on the shelf, it just collects dust, bro. It really does. And I mean, like, we've been nominated for I don't know how many Dove Awards, like 17, and we lost so many in a row. And then, we finally won one, and I was like, oh man, finally. And you get that award and it just sits there on the shelf. It doesn't mean anything. It's like the things that actually matter, the things that actually were special, that was creating these things and all these memories and the shows and the people that their lives are changed. Like, that's, somebody coming up to me and saying, hey man, 15 years ago, I gave my life to Christ at a Disciple concert. And I want to thank you. This has happened. This has happened. This happened. Dude, that right there. That's the one, all that other stuff, it's on a Wikipedia page. It says, oh, you've done this, man, that's nothing compared to that, so that's what we're looking forward to.
Those trophies, that's a treasure of this world, when we're supposed to be, we're looking at treasures in heaven, because that's what.
Okay. I'm not so super spiritual that they don't matter. They do, and I like them.
What
don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I like them, but I'm not actively trying to win anything. I don't think that. I don't even know how I could even compete. I don't know what that even means to win.
And I think that's the best mindset, though, because again, that's not your purpose, and I think that's going to be you're winning it because yes, you deserve it, but again, at the end of the day, we're not looking for the world's favor, we're looking for God's favor, and so I really I'm excited to really just to see, again, like you said, the lives that the album's going to change. And I know you guys are going to be on tour and a lot of live shows coming up here for people to go see. And of course, as you mentioned, that you're going to continue making music till you can't do it anymore. So I know that we have more music coming, I'm sure.
Well, the other aspect of it, it's a philosophy thing. I remember talking to Dave from Remedy Drive, and I was saying, another thing that I've just been learning over the last 10 years is, this race that we run as Christians, we're actually not running to beat anybody. We're actually running this race together. And that just light bulb clicked with me. And I was like, I figured out, we're not trying to be better than Remedy Drive or Skillet or Red or Pillar, all of our friends. We're actually running this race together. And when one of them wins, we all win. When one of them, succeeds, we all succeeded. It helps all of us. And I really, actually, I believe in that. And so, these awards, they mean something, but I mean, they're nice. It feels good to be recognized. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not trying to put any of those other bands down. Like, I want them to succeed, and I want them to flourish, because when somebody discovers them, guess what? They go down that Spotify and it says artists like this, and there's our picture right down there at the bottom. And so,
there you go.
Like, we are running this race together, and trying to get as many people to run for Jesus with us as we can. So that's also a cool thing. Another aspect of like awards and stuff like that. It's like, So I celebrate them all. Everybody's success. It helps us all.
No, I definitely like that, that mindset, because we're brothers and sisters in Christ. Again, just one big, we're the church. We're doing this together, and being supportive in that community with others. That's hugely important, especially in, not only just the Christian music industry, but also just in just our faith walk, to have that community.
And,
so I think that's
all those guys are great guys.
Oh yeah,
all those bands, and Sean Rodriguez, and all those guys, and TJ for Disciple, they're all great guys. You know what I mean? And so that's also very nice. Is the community of Christian rock bands. It's a bunch of really, really awesome humans, in that community.
No, absolutely. And that's, I think that like you said, someone's going to discover your music. They're going to discover these other bands, and vice versa. And you know, God's going to work his way from there. But Kevin, again, thank you so much for joining us today for the conversation.
You, man.
We're excited about Skeleton Psalms. I'm excited to hear some of that acoustic stuff myself. But and then of course you guys will be touring. All that information is going to be in the description for those of you watching. Again, thank you so much for your time and hang out with us here on Kingdom Builder TV today.
Thank you so much. God bless you. I appreciate it.
And to all of you watching, if you love this conversation, don't forget to hit that like button, drop us a comment of your favorite Disciple song, and subscribe for more exclusive artist interviews. And hey, ring that bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, this is Mike Laxton reminding you to keep Christ first in your lives, and everything else will fall into place. Stay blessed and keep the music loud.